Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, based on wherever you're tuning in from. I am here today to give you guys a quick update. I have been paying close attention to the goings on with Sean P. Diddy Combs. And recently, I don't know how many of you heard of the Kim Porter book. The gentleman that put it out, published it, and sold it on Amazon, has always said that he had a source, but he refused to reveal his source. Recently, that source came forward, and he's done quite a few interviews on YouTube. His name, he goes by Courtney B. And he indicated that he is the source for the gentleman that wrote the Kim Porter book. And he says that the book is in manuscript, is something that he received directly from a guy that was dating Kim Porter back in the day in Atlanta. Now, we don't have any background music today because something's wrong with Restream and the music. Let me see if it's working in a live environment. Nope. The music option isn't working, guys, but I'm fine with that. Hold on. Why is this not closing? Okay, there we go. Now, Courtney B ends up with the federal government knocking on his door to subpoena him to be a grand jury witness. He sat for the grand jury yesterday at, I believe, 3 p.m. in New York. Jury, he and his attorney sat down for a very brief conversation with, who is this? This is with News Nation. He sat down with News Nation and answered questions in a very limited way because, as we know, now that he's a grand jury witness, he has to be careful as to what he shares with the general public. But I'm going to go ahead and play the audio of that for you guys. And then we're going to get into a little bit of Allie Carter. I'll explain who Allie Carter is when we get to that. But let's get into this audio.
Just testified for a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today, and after he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set, and he and his attorney talked to me. I should tell you that he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes.
Now, I want to pause there. Did you hear what she said? She said that the 8 celebrities who are depicted in these videos are alleged to be victims of XXX crimes. So the videos that Courtney B had in his possession allegedly shows A-list celebrities being essayed by Sean P. Diddy Combs. It only gets worse, guys. It's only getting worse. I still am confident that Diddy is going to take this to the door because he's going to want to save his reputation. You know, he's going to be looking into the long game, not the short game. Meaning, like right now, he's looking at his future and what that may look like for him. So I don't see Diddy taking a plea on this at all. That would be astonishing. And honestly, I think the government would have to offer him something major for him to cop a plea. Because with the new information that has been coming out regularly, I mean, every day, y'all, there's something new every day. And with that information that's spilling out every single day, it only seems to get worse for Diddy. There's been nothing good that has come in since his arrest. There's nothing that is positive coming out. Nobody is really coming out to speak up on his behalf. You know, there's a few people here and there. Some people, Akon said that he's praying for him and you know, hoping that he's all right or whatever. Um, who was it? Some DJ, I can't remember what DJ, but he came out and was calling um, Funk Master Flex. That's who it was. He came out and was calling Shine a liar, but I don't know. I tend to believe Shine. I tend to believe that he was set up by Diddy to take the fall for that pum pum in that nightclub pum pumin'. But he didn't come out and say that Diddy didn't do all of the things that people are alleging, though. That's what he didn't do. Funk Master Flex didn't come out and say, yo, Diddy would never, ever, ever do any of these things that are being alleged against him. That man is a stand-up guy. Like, I have not heard not one celebrity come out and say anything like to the contrary of what's being alleged, like straightforward. Now, Ice Cube did come out and say that he feels like Diddy's getting set up. But by who? By who? But let's get back to Courtney B. I just wanted to point out the fact that they have indicated that he has indicated that the celebrities featured in these freak off videos that were in his possession are alleged victims.
We know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. Here now is my conversation with Courtney Burgess, and beginning with the question of whether the participants in the video even knew they were being recorded. Were there any cameras in places where you'd assume privacy, like bathrooms?
Well, I've never been in this house, but the picture, yes. That's what took place.
You're aware of surreptitious cameras that were recording in private places like bathrooms.
I didn't see the cameras. You could tell how the person was angled. Not I knew that it was a camera there because I was there. You know, I was there. I don't know if the person was too tall, he was holding it or whatever, but I wasn't there.
May I ask you this, Courtney? And Ariel, you can jump in on this as well, but I want to hear from Courtney first. Your home was raided by federal authorities, and I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that. They just went to every one of them looking for me. They said the paperwork said the 24th, that I had to be there the 28th, and then it was the 27th. I told I can't make it there. That's tomorrow. So I don't know. From the look of it, was 4 days.
And I want to be specific. Yes, when we talk about a raid, we're talking about when a subpoena is served for documents, a search warrant, or an arrest warrant. In this situation, Mr. Burgess was not in any way, shape, or form had a search warrant or an arrest warrant issued for him. It was just them serving a subpoena. So when the federal government needs to serve a subpoena, they use the Marshal Service to come to all of your residences if you have more than one residence. So in this situation, they sent marshals to all of Mr. Burgess's residences, and that was somehow construed or understood or turned into a raid, but he did not face a raid. It was just to serve him a subpoena.
Ariel, do you believe that the subpoenas were issued and executed based on the federal authorities' knowledge that these flash drives existed and had this kind of compromising material?
I think it was based on statements that Mr. Burgess made in a prior interview.
And those statements.
So the prior interview that she is referring to is I think it's his first interview where he goes public and lets everybody know that he was the individual in possession of the tapes initially. Like he was the one that gave it to the guy that put the book together and put Kim Porter's face on the book. Now, the reason the book is down, or the reason the book initially came down, was because the family, I guess by way of their attorney, notified the author that they did not want their mother's book. And because it is her likeness, that's something that they could definitely sue over. So the author went ahead and removed Kim's picture from it. I don't know if he's put the book back up. Let's see if the author put the book back up on Amazon. Let's see. Kim Porter's last words. Okay, there's one up here. Kim Porter and Diddy memoir book, Last Words, the untold story of Kim's words. And see, her picture's up there, so I don't think that's her. But it's the only book here. Let's see, why does it say 99 cents? Oh, it's a Kindle book. And it's not the same author, so I wouldn't do that. Let's see. It looks like it's still not up there, so yeah, I don't see it up here, so I guess he still has not put the book back up, the author that is. But this gentleman, Courtney B, is about to drop a few bombshells as far as what was contained in some of those videos. So guys, if you haven't already hit that like button, now would be a great time to do so. Let's get back into this interview with Courtney B.
To include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could. given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury.
They provide sustainable food,
Hold on, guys.
water,
I got a commercial.
healthcare, education, jobs, and resources.
Okay.
Out of those 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
Big
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Now, you heard that part, right? She said, how many of those 8 appeared to be minors? And he said 2 to 3. He said, I'll say 3. So 3 celebrity minors were allegedly on tape doing hanky-panky with Diddy. If this man has turned over these flash drives that are clearly open because he saw the videos. Remember, the federal government has been having a problem opening up some of the footage that they retrieved from Diddy's house because it was encrypted, you see. But if this guy gave them these tapes with celebrity minors in it, hey, Chantel, with celebrity minors, I'm just going to let you know that it's a done deal for Diddy. It's a done deal. He won't be able to explain that. What is he going to say about that? How is he going to explain that away? I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to explain that away. Is he going to say that wasn't him? Is he going to take on the Shaggy defense? It wasn't me. Honey, call me that. She called me red-handed, freaking with the piss. We were both butt hanging on the living floor. She said she called me on the counter. It wasn't me. He gonna say it wasn't him. That's the only defense. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play the rest.
2 to 3. Also on the flash drives, Courtney, was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know. We don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know how who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60, it's only about 54 pages.
Sure, and in the beginning it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
It's how you read it, yes. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here, the manuscript that Mr. Burgess, not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone
Makes
else
sense.
who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
Okay, so Ariel, did your client Courtney receive the book from the woman who seems to have written it, saying, "I'm a woman of my word, and this book is going to make it to print"?
I don't know if he received it from a man or a woman. He can answer that.
I received it from a man. I tell you, somebody she was dating.
Guys, girls notice your skin. It's literally the first thing they notice.
We got a commercial. So he's saying that he got the book from a man, somebody that Kim Porter was dating at the time. So I'm sure that the authenticity of what he has in his possession is probably 100%.
The notes from
Can answer.
I received it from a man. I tell you, somebody she was dating.
Do you know if the notes from the book really were from Kim Porter?
It was, yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I got it, received it.
You spoke to Kim Porter?
Yes.
So Kim Porter.
Just saying hi.
Okay.
Just saying hi.
Okay, Ariel, go ahead and give me clarity on the timeline.
No, I'm trying to get him to provide clarity of, was there a conversation with her?
I was
or
talking to the person, and he said, "Hold up, this is Courtney. Be right here. Let me say something to him." He said, "I know him. Put me on speaker." Then that's how we end up speaking.
And then later, somebody brought somebody else came and brought you the manuscript.
Right. Before I left ATL.
To the best of your knowledge, Courtney, do you believe that the manuscript is truly based on Kim Porter's diaries? Because there is a lot of dialogue in there. It is pages and pages of actual dialogue, which, I mean, I can't remember breakfast today, let alone dialogue from 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago.
I guess this is a woman's score. You understand? Maybe, what she been through. It's, I'm not a woman, so I'm just going by how I got female friends and relatives. They always come to the house scoring because what went on in their relationship. And you can't, when you're scoring, you can't forget it.
Important to stop down here for a moment.
I want to know more about what Kim Porter went through. I feel it. I'm really like the only person that can actually speak to what occurred in their relationship right now is Diddy. And he's going to make it seem like it was peaches and cream. She was the Bonnie, she was the Clyde to his Bonnie. So we may never really truly know all that Kim Porter endured during her relationship, her long relationship with Sean Puff Daddy Combs.
A note again.
Maybe if the book comes back out, maybe the book, now that we know that it's real, is probably going to become an Amazon bestseller overnight again if he puts it back up. But maybe, hopefully he will, and we'll learn more about her experiences.
that Sean Combs is accused. He has not been convicted of any crimes, and so far
You're a woman, so I'm just going by how I got female friends and relatives. They always come to the house scoring because what went on in their relationship, and you can't, when you're scoring, you can't forget it.
Important to stop down here for a moment and note again that Sean Combs is accused. He has not been convicted of any crimes, and so far everything against him is an allegation until it is proven in a court of law and a jury either decides or he decides to sign a plea deal to any of these crimes. But at this point in the story, Sean Combs is not guilty of any crimes. He is currently under indictment. He is currently being held on bail. But if you're at all curious about how Courtney Burgess feels about Diddy today, I asked him about that too. And here's what he had to say. Your lawyer just said, the story the tapes tell of the story of Diddy from the last several decades. And I know that you've known Diddy for a very long time. Can you describe what that story is based on what you now know to be true, the last several decades of Diddy's behavior and the reason he's now sitting in lockup?
I think I've been doing it for 35 years. I think we probably entered music business at the same time. He entered with Uptown. I entered into Big Beat, Atlantic. At the time, I guess he was ambitious. He was then from ambitious went to doing anything. Then from doing anything to didn't care about nobody, who he could beat, and then he ended up turning into Lucifer. And today, I look at him. I know y'all call him Diddy or Puff. Y'all call him Lucifer.
Nazi?
He called him Lucifer, y'all. He refers to Sean P. Diddy Combs as Lucifer. This is somebody that knows Diddy from the industry, and he refers to him as Lucifer. Bro. It doesn't get any better for Diddy. I don't know how he's going to. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea what he's going to do. I can't. I don't. That was a lot, guys. So what we learned from Courtney B is that there were 3 celebrities who appeared to be minors in the tapes that he had in his possession. And then all of the celebrities that were caught on tape having hanky-panky with Diddy seemed to be unaware of what was happening to them. That's wild. That is wild. Whew. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into Allison Leilani Carter. I don't know. I'm on the fence about Allie. I'm on the fence. I am on the fence. She claims to have been trafficked by a pimp and also aided by social services, Riverside, California. And she says that she was brought to Diddy parties and was involved in encounters with President Joe Biden, allegedly, former President Barack Obama, allegedly, Michelle Obama, allegedly, Oprah Winfrey, allegedly, Denzel Washington, allegedly, and of course, Sean Diddy Combs. Now, The reason I say I'm on the fence a little bit is because this girl also said that she was Tupac's daughter at one time. Y'all heard me, right? She said that she is Tupac Shakur's daughter. The part that, like, like confuses me, because if she is indeed Tupac's daughter, why hasn't the Shakur family reached out to establish paternity, verify, and, like, assist this girl with her life and maybe even her mental health? I'm not saying she wasn't trafficked, and I'm not saying that she didn't experience some of the things that she's talked about. All I'm saying is it's just her being Tupac's daughter and being trafficked around all Hollywood and all this other stuff. That part is like, wait a minute, how are you Tupac Shakur's daughter? Unless he didn't know about her in some way. I have no idea. But we're going to listen to some of what she has to say, guys.
Stuff. So when I got into it, it didn't affect things for other stuff. So when I got into it, it didn't affect me as bad, but I moved my feet wrong. My feet were, I'm sitting in a weird chair. So my feet, instead of doing this, I was doing this because I was kicking people. Yeah, you don't do that when you're about to get tied up. It makes the ropes cut into your ankles and you're held upside down for a really long time and people are hurting you. And it was a cater event. And the only people that said something or had the balls to say something were 2 firefighters. They found out how old I was and they said no. And they were like, no, we done. We out. No, we're not doing that. No, we're good. They didn't call anybody. They didn't fight anybody. They didn't stop anything from happening. They just left. So when you are going to order, you can also do that with sex. You can cater a sex. So do that with sex. You can cater a sex with minors come to your event. And this was a sex catered event for policemen in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California. More specifically, Simi Valley. And how old were you? 15. I lived in a Mexican foster home in Riverside County, under Riverside County CPS protection. I called them. We told them what was going on. I told them what happened. They didn't want to hear it. Not another report. Now, we keep getting pulled over. Imagine that. I wonder how that works. And then there's some people who are like, so what do we do next? I don't know, because we're trying to figure out what we're doing next. With a smile on our face, because in a minute I probably won't be smiling, because I honestly feel like I'm a puke on this camera. You want to see me puke? I mean, if you if you feel like you need to see that too, you want to see me throw up, because that's how I honestly feel right now, and that's more than likely what I'm headed to do after this video. Because we have to do something. And we're minding our business. We're trying to stay alive. We're trying to get some things done. We're trying to get some things.
She always claims, whenever she's, on the internet, she always puts on this, I guess, like, she kind of sends subliminals like, oh, her life is in danger and people are hunting her down. But get this, she will not go to the authorities. She said she won't go to the authorities because she doesn't trust them. But she's okay with going on social media but won't go to the authorities. That's this is the only, if she has the recollection of all of these things that happened to her as a young child, as a minor, from, she says she was trafficked from age 5 or something till about 18 or 17, something to that effect. Now, if that happened and she has these memories, the best place for her to go would be the authorities. But according to her, she doesn't trust them. So she's not going to go and sit down and testify anything. She has said, however, that if the federal government sees her on a video, they can send her the video and she will authenticate that that is her in the video. But she won't go to them.
Is in place.
And that kind of bothers me a little bit, because if what she's saying is true about heads of state, the government, all of these people, I would imagine that her testimony would be powerful enough, if true, to take down a lot of Pedialites.
And once again, I have a feeling that license and registration, where you headed, it's about to happen. Ask me how I know. Again. You know, sometimes because of the way that I started getting smart about the jobs. I wasn't really understanding the way things were going at first, and then I started getting smart about things. And then your girl started faking orgasms. And then sometimes that works to back people off. Sometimes that does not work to back people off. Then I can sarcastically smile at you like this. And you can see the fuck you in my smile. And that would cause me to get hit to the point where maybe I would be knocked out, and then I wouldn't have to worry about what was going on until it was over. I had tactics. What can you do? And then the only other thing you can do is pee on people. Ain't that some shit? Boom, boom. I don't always work, because most of those fools like that shit. They nasty asses. And then the only other thing that you could hope for is that somebody kills you. Because then you're free. Yeah. I still remember that shit. Clearly. Having problems with that right now. So I thank you for doing the research. I don't know what else to say or show you guys. I'm going to try to with this next part 2 coming out. I'm going to try to, with the live event, pray that I can get everything out as much as we can before we run out of time, because we are almost out of time and I am exhausted. And layers of exhausted. And on top of that, I wanted to see, my former name used to be Jezebel, but my mama named me Leilani. You know us all as Allison. Maybe Allie. That would be me. And then the one who made the bonnet video comes across a little bit different than I do. See, those sex festivals and all of those bondage jobs, that what I just explained, would just hope for, I would just do, or just try to make somebody tick for, those cause splits. So what a child may be going through right now, being tortured and raped, that causes splits. Your brain has to do something with that pain. You know how people say, well, I feel trapped in my own body, or that's not me. I'm not that person. that has a little flavor to that.
Well, she also claims that's the end of it, but she also claims that she has alters, like because of all of the abuse. So, like, some alters hold different memories. Again, I am not saying that her allegations are false. All I'm saying is that if she does have this recollection, she should be sitting down with the authorities, swearing out affidavits on the record. She did do an affidavit before. However, that wasn't like a legal affidavit. It was just something they typed up and got notarized. That's it. It wasn't something that was orchestrated and or generated and sealed and signed by enforcement. So that concerns me about her story. If you have all of this knowledge and you are directly involved and you were harmed, go to the authorities. Those people that were involved should be brought to justice. But guys, that's really all I wanted to share with you guys today. Courtney B, Mr. Burgess. Now, I reached out to him. I did reach out to him to see if he would be willing to speak to me on my platform. I really want to know a little bit more about him in general, as far as his background, his, role in the music industry, because he said that he and Diddy actually entered into the music, in the entertainment world around the same time. So he knew him rather well. But this is not looking good for Diddy at all. This right here, every single day is something different, y'all. Every single day is something new going on in his case, both legally and civilly. Now, what I'm going to do is, before I hop off of here, I'm going to check Pacer real quick, guys. I'm going to check Pacer just in case, because I never know. I never know when something's going to pop up there. Why is this not working right now? I cannot stand that sometimes. All right, let's see. There's nothing on the civil side. Okay, let's look at the criminal side with the United States versus Sean Puff Daddy Combs. Let's go to the documents. Let's see what's going. Let's see what it's given today, guys. Let's see. All right, there's nothing new. The last item that was an order submitted by let's see, by the judge. I believe this is the order in which the judge recently received. Well, let me read it to you. The court is in receipt of a letter from the government supplementing the government's October 30th filing at docket number 53, having considered the government's stated justifications for sealing the letter and considering it ex parte. The court finds that it is appropriate to accept this letter ex parte and under seal. So there is a letter that has been submitted to the judge ex parte and under seal. Ex parte is a Latin phrase that means on one side only, or by or for one party. In legal context, it has multiple meanings, including ex parte communication, when a party or someone involved with a party communicates directly with a judge about a case without other parties' knowledge. Judges are not allowed to consider ex parte communications unless the law expressly permits it. Ex parte decision, a decision made by a judge without requiring all parties to a dispute to be present. Ex parte order, a short-term custody order that a judge can grant in a limited emergency circumstance without hearing from the other party. Ex parte orders are usually temporary and in effect until a full hearing can be held. You get the point. Ex parte is one party only. So this letter that the government has presented to the judge is not being seen by the defense or the defendant. I do not know what, and we will probably never know what's in that letter. We will never know what's in that letter, y'all. I'm telling you, we won't know. Hey, Kamisha. Kamisha Ra. How are you? Welcome, welcome. You getting here right at the end. Bush babies, I see you guys. Please be sure to hit the like button as you're sitting in here. I'm about to wrap it up. But it's not getting any better for Sean P. Diddy Combs. It's just not. As the days go by, today, November 1st, 2024, it just keeps piling on. Things just keep piling on. And for those of you who may not know already, it is my goal to attend this trial. Currently, it is slated to begin May 5th, 2025. If you guys have the ability to, or find it in your hearts to, please consider donating to my efforts in getting to his trial and staying there. Of course, on my end, I'm doing everything humanly possible to make sure that I set aside a few coins for this trial. Now, if you're unable to donate to the channel via my Cash App, one other thing that you can do, Bush Babies, is just subscribe. Because by you subscribing, you're going to help me get towards 1,000 subscribers so that I can become monetized. Okay? Not that YouTube is paying thousands of dollars, but it would be helpful for me to have a little something happening on these YouTube streets in the ways of monetization. So if you cannot donate to my Cash App, which is Danny's Danny's Plate 2021, I believe I posted it here on the channel in a short. I'll make sure I post it on my community wall as well. But if you're unable to donate monetarily, then please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed so that you can help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. We do not have a lot of time. We are in the month of November, So, guys, if you are not already subscribed, I'm going to say it one more time. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe today. Set your notifications to all so that you're notified when I go live or add new content. Guys, if anything else happens with Sean P. Diddy Combs, you already know I'll be back. Okay, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.